What if I told you the entire rise of Eminem and 50 Cent, the iconic duo that dominated hip-hop in the 2000s, wasn't as brotherly as the world was led to believe? What if behind those platinum records, chart-topping hits and power moves, there was betrayal, manipulation, and a secret deal that could rewrite rap history forever? Sources close to both camps are now claiming that the shady aftermath GUnit takeover wasn't just a musical alliance, it was a chess game, and someone got played. Some say 50 Cent wasn't supposed to be the one to blow up under Eminem. Others allege that M's loyalty to Dr. Dre was tested in ways no fan could imagine. And now, nearly 2 decades later, leaked conversations, old interviews, and new industry whispers are painting a darker picture of how it all went down. Was their bond built on mutual respect? Or silent rivalry? Did Eminem actually use 50 to secure his dominance? Or did 50 flip the script and outsmart the industry's biggest player? Tonight, we dive deep into the truth about Eminem and 50 Cent's takeover exposed. Grab your seat, because once you hear this, you'll never look at their friendship the same again. What if I told you 50's come-up wasn't just luck and it was strategy? That's how one insider started the conversation that's now shaking the rap world. Before the flashy chains, movie deals, and memes, there was tension, real tension, brewing between Eminem, Dr. Dre, and a young, hungry 50 Cent trying to claim his spot. But what fans didn't know is that Eminem and 50's brotherhood didn't start with respect. It started with a business move that nearly went left. It's 2002. Eminem is at his peak. Lose Yourself is breaking records, and Dre's Aftermath label is unstoppable. But the industry's whispering, M's losing touch with the streets. He's white-hot famous, but people are questioning if he can still feel what's real in hip-hop. Dre knows he needs someone new, a street-certified artist to balance Eminem's superstar image. That's when a mysterious demo CD lands on M's desk. Scrawled in black marker, 50 Cent, guess who's back? M pops it in, and within 10 minutes, he's calling Dre like, "Yo, we found him." But here's the part fans never heard. Sources claim Dre wasn't all in at first. 50's history was messy. 9 gunshots, label drama, street beefs, blacklisted from the industry. Dre reportedly told M, "He's too dangerous. The labels won't touch him." But M was relentless. He told Dre, "That's exactly why we need him. He's what I can't be, the real deal." Behind the scenes, negotiations got wild. Shady Records wanted 50, but Interscope was nervous. Word is, Eminem personally guaranteed to fund 50's early rollout out of his own pocket, a move Dre called career suicide at the time. And yet 50 wasn't humble about it. When M flew him out to LA for their first meeting, insiders say 50 came in with that trademark smirk, saying, "I appreciate the deal, but I ain't your artist. I'm your partner." M reportedly laughed it off, but Dre didn't. That tension, right there, set the tone for the years to come. Fast forward just months later, In Da Club drops and the game changes overnight. 50 goes from underground hero to global superstar, all under Eminem's label. The world sees them as a team. But insiders say, behind the scenes, things were starting to crack. One source claims 50's ego exploded faster than anyone expected. He'd show up to shady events late, refuse press lines, and publicly joke about being the real boss. Meanwhile, Eminem, battling personal demons and media pressure, was trying to keep the peace. At one recording session in Detroit, things reportedly got heated. A witness says 50 called out Eminem in front of Dre and the team. "You built a career off talking crazy, but you can't handle when somebody talks back. I ain't your sidekick, man." Eminem fired back, icy cold. "You think you'd even be in this building without me?" Silence. Dre stepped in before it went left, but from that moment on, the brotherhood fans adored was fractured. By 2004, GUnit was unstoppable. 50 was signing his own artists, building his empire, and rumor had it, he was planning to leave Shady for good. Some industry insiders even claim 50 tried to buy out his own contract, a bold move that nearly triggered a legal war behind the scenes. One anonymous producer told Rap Radar, "There were calls, threats, meetings. 50 wanted out, and M felt betrayed." Dre was stuck in the middle. Everyone was playing chess, but nobody was loyal. Still, on camera, they smiled. They laughed. They performed. But off camera, it was cold. Eminem reportedly started avoiding joint interviews. Dre started spending more time with Game and new artists. And 50? He was already plotting his next big move. Not with Shady, but with TV networks and vitamin companies. That's when things really got messy. A former GUnit insider recently came forward claiming that 50 had been leaking information about Shady Records' internal operations to outside investors. He was building power quietly, the source said. Every deal M made, 50 had a backup plan. It was genius and grimy at the same time. By 2005, when M announced his hiatus due to exhaustion, 50 didn't slow down, he accelerated. The massacre sold millions, and 50 publicly said on a radio interview, "I don't wait on nobody. Not even M." That's when fans noticed. Eminem stopped shouting out 50 in his songs. No more my brother energy. The distance was real. But the breaking point came during a private industry dinner in New York in late 2006. Multiple witnesses claim that after a few drinks, 50 called Eminem out again, this time over money. 50 allegedly said, "I made this label more than you ever did." Eminem shot back, "You think you're bigger than me? Try doing it without me." Dre reportedly left the table early. The tension was that bad. After that night, they barely spoke for nearly a year. And while fans thought Eminem was just battling depression, insiders say he was quietly restructuring Shady Records, making sure no one, not even 50, could ever outplay him again. What was supposed to be hip-hop's strongest duo had turned into a silent war. And the wildest part? Neither of them ever admitted it publicly. Until now. Because the next part of this story, the real reason 50 Cent and Eminem's bond fell apart, involves betrayal. Hidden recordings and one explosive move that almost ended Eminem's career for good by 2007, the tension between Eminem and 50 Cent wasn't just rumor, it was energy. You could feel it in their interviews, their tone, even in how they avoided saying each other's names. Fans thought it was just a creative break, but insiders say something way darker was happening behind the scenes. A former Shady Records engineer came forward recently with a story that's been buried for almost 2 decades. And if it's true, it changes everything we thought we knew about Eminem and 50's so-called brotherhood. According to this engineer, during one late-night studio session in 2006, a heated argument between Eminem and 50 was secretly recorded. The recording wasn't meant to go public, but what was said that night nearly destroyed their entire empire. The insider claims 50 came into the studio wild that night. He'd just found out Eminem renegotiated his contract with Interscope, and there was a clause that basically cut 50 out of certain royalties. He felt betrayed. Apparently, 50 stormed in, slammed the door, and said, "You been cutting deals behind my back, Marshall? I thought we were building this together." Eminem, calm but cold, replied, "You ain't my accountant, 50. You make your money, I make mine." That's when things spiraled. The engineer said the shouting got so loud, security almost stepped in. 50 accused M of using him to stay relevant, saying, "You needed me when the culture started turning on you. Don't play like you made me, I saved you." Eminem allegedly fired back, "You wouldn't have a career if I didn't take that bullet for you in those label meetings. You were blacklisted. I made them say yes." That line? That's the one that stuck. The argument ended with 50 storming out, saying, "You'll regret saying that. Watch what happens." Weeks later, a mysterious clip started circulating in private industry chats, a 2-minute audio file of 2 familiar voices arguing. You could hear tension, anger, betrayal. Some believed it was fake, but others swore it was real. It never hit the mainstream, because someone paid to make sure it disappeared. Rumors say Eminem's legal team bought the rights to the recording and silenced everyone involved. But apparently, a few copies still existed. And years later, one resurfaced on a private hip-hop Discord server in 2020. The clip didn't last long before being taken down. But for a brief moment, fans heard what sounded like M's voice saying, "I put you on, and you forgot who wrote your story." When asked about it in a later interview, 50 laughed it off and said, "People will believe anything. Me and M are family." But fans noticed, he didn't deny it. Behind closed doors, things only got colder. Insiders claim 50 stopped sending Shady his artists' demos, and M started keeping Dre closer, acting like the middleman again. But even Dre wasn't happy about it. One source close to Aftermath said Dre felt tired of playing referee between 2 egos. Then came the final straw, the betrayal that almost broke Eminem completely. In 2008, 50 Cent was negotiating a massive brand deal, rumored to be worth over $200 million, involving film, music, and a new label branch. Initially, M and Dre were supposed to be silent partners, but at the last minute, 50 cut them out entirely. He took the deal solo. Eminem found out through a journalist, not from 50 himself. When the news broke, insiders say M locked himself in his Detroit home for days. Friends said he was furious, but for days. Friends said he was furious, but more than that, he was hurt. He felt betrayed, said one shady insider. That was supposed to be their next chapter together. He thought 50 was his brother. And then boom, blindsided. For months, fans saw nothing. No new music, no interviews, just silence. But behind the scenes, Eminem was plotting something unexpected. Revenge through the mic. When Relapse dropped in 2009, fans thought it was just a comeback album. But some believe there were hidden subliminals aimed at 50 throughout the record. On one track, M raps, "You build a castle, let the snakes live in it, they'll bite when the crown tilts." Fans dissected that line endlessly, and even 50 joked on Twitter at the time, "Hope that ain't about me, Slim." But insiders say he didn't laugh privately. In fact, he confronted M about it at a private Shady Records event later that year. Witnesses say the two shook hands for cameras, but when the lights dimmed, they had words. "Stop talking slick on records," 50 told him. "Then stop acting fake off them," M replied. They never worked closely again after that. Meanwhile, Dre tried to repair things, even inviting both to work on detox sessions. But 50 never showed. He didn't need them anymore, said another insider. He was building TV empires, movie roles, his brand. He was bigger than rap. Still, that leaked audio kept haunting the industry. It became one of those if you know legends in hip-hop circles, the night two giants broke apart. And here's where it gets wild. One of the producers who worked on 50's Before I Self-Destruct album allegedly used snippets of that argument as background samples in one unreleased track. The track never saw daylight, but people close to it claim it existed, and that the moment M heard about it, he went off. He called Dre like, "Tell that dude to take my voice off his album before I sue everyone in the room." That's when Dre reportedly told both of them, "Y'all are ruining everything we built." For a brief moment, both rappers went quiet again. No subs, no collabs, nothing. But while M retreated, 50 doubled down, turning into the internet's biggest troll, throwing shots at anyone, everyone, except M. The silence between them was loud. Fans started noticing. No more features, no shout-outs, not even birthday posts. Something was definitely broken. Then, in 2012, at the height of 50's Street King Immortal buzz, a mysterious leak hit Reddit, an anonymous post titled "The Real Shady Truth." It included alleged transcriptions of that same 2006 audio, word for word. The post was deleted within hours, but screenshots spread like wildfire. That's when fans realized, maybe the rumors were true all along. And what's even crazier? Some people believe that wasn't the only recording. Rumor has it, Dre kept the full version locked away in his private archives. Because what was said in that full version didn't just expose 50 and M, it hinted at an even bigger power struggle. One that involved the entire Aftermath empire. In Part 3, we uncover that side. The Dre connection, the silent deals, and how one move almost ended all three careers at once. By 2010, something felt off in hip-hop's biggest camp. The shady Aftermath GUnit triangle that once ruled everything was now a silent battlefield, and Dr. Dre was stuck right in the middle of it. Fans thought Dre was quiet because he was working on detox. But insiders say that's not the whole truth. What Dre was really doing was restructuring his empire, preparing for a power shift he saw coming from miles away. See, Dre had been through this before. NWA, Death Row, Aftermath. He knew how fame turns family into enemies. So when the tension between Eminem and 50 reached its peak, Dre started making calls. Quietly, strategically. One industry insider told Complex, Dre was tired. He loved both of them, but he wasn't about to let their beef destroy his legacy. So he started cutting silent deals, setting up his next chapter without either of them knowing. Behind the scenes, Dre was meeting with new talent, Kendrick Lamar, Anderson, Pac, and others who'd soon become his next generation of protégés. But what's wild? Some say the inspiration for that move came from the chaos between 50 and Eminem. According to leaked emails from that era, Dre allegedly told a label exec, "The problem with Shady and GUnit is ego. I'm building something new that doesn't depend on either of them." Meanwhile, 50 and Eminem's silent war was leaking into the industry like poison. Collaborators had to pick sides. If you worked with 50, you might not get a Shady feature. If you worked with M, don't expect 50 to promote your track. Dre hated it, but he also saw opportunity. In early 2011, he pulled both into a secret meeting in Los Angeles. Multiple sources confirm that meeting really happened, and it almost turned into another blow-up. According to one witness, Dre sat them both down and said straight up, "Y'all made history, but right now, y'all acting like enemies. I'm not losing everything I built because of this." Eminem sat quiet. 50 leaned back, smirking. The energy was heavy. Then Dre dropped the bomb. "From this point on, Aftermath moves without emotion. Business only. If y'all can't work together, I'll work around both of you." 50 reportedly laughed, saying, "Then do it. I already got my own bag." Eminem snapped, "You ain't never been loyal a day in your life." It was over. Dre walked out mid-argument. That was the last time all three men were in a room together for years. After that, Dre went ghost, stopped returning calls, no new beats for either camp. Fans assumed he was focusing on detox, but insiders say he was shifting his alliances, prepping a brand new vision that had nothing to do with Shady or GUnit. At the same time, 50 started expanding into film and TV. Power was in development, and he told people close to him that he was done babysitting rappers. Eminem, on the other hand, went fully reclusive. People in Detroit said he barely left his home studio. Some claim he started recording warning tracks, just in case anyone tried to play him in public. That's when something crazy happened. Dre's private studio got hacked. An anonymous group posted snippets of unreleased detox material on the dark web, along with files labeled M50 Convo Final Wavder, believed to be the full version of that infamous 2006 argument recording. The files disappeared within hours, but a few insiders claim to have heard it. And here's the shocker. The full audio apparently revealed that Dre had been recording conversations without them knowing. One leaked line allegedly has 50 yelling, "You recording this, Dre? What the fuck, man?" Followed by Dre's calm voice saying, "Y'all making history whether you know it or not." If true, that means Dre had blackmail-level material on both of them, enough to end careers. That explains why, even after all the betrayal and leaks, neither 50 nor M ever publicly disrespected Dre. They both owed him everything, and he had receipts. Industry chatter got wild after that. People started calling Dre the quiet puppet master. Others said he wasn't blackmailing anyone, he was protecting himself. Because let's be honest, at that point, the empire was cracking. GUnit was fading. Shady Records wasn't producing the same fire. And Dre's detox still wasn't dropping. So what does Dre do? He makes his boldest move yet. In 2013, Beats by Dre explodes. Billion-dollar valuation, Apple deal, the works. Fans saw it as a tech flex. But insiders claim Dre had one condition written in the fine print. He would retain full control of all past and future Shady Aftermath intellectual property rights connected to his production catalog. Meaning if 50 or M ever tried to use his older beats, stems, or recordings against him, Dre could legally shut them down. One former Interscope staffer put it perfectly. That was Dre's revenge. Quiet, calculated business revenge. While they were throwing subliminals, he was becoming a billionaire. Meanwhile, the tension between 50 and M never fully went public, but fans noticed small signs. In interviews, 50 would say things like, "Me and M cool. We just don't talk much." Eminem, when asked about 50, would smile awkwardly and say, "That's my guy." But the warmth was gone. Then something unexpected happened. Dre decided to make Straight Outta Compton, and he needed both of them to promote the movie for the culture. He called 50 first, silence. He called Eminem next, silence again. Neither one wanted to share a stage. That's when Dre reportedly said to a mutual friend, "I created kings, but I forgot. Kings don't share thrones." As Straight Outta Compton dominated theaters, 50 was in New York filming Power, and Eminem was quietly recording Revival. Neither one mentioned the other, but Dre, he was now untouchable. Billionaire status, cultural icon, and a vault full of unreleased tapes that could destroy careers if they ever saw daylight. And then came the reunion rumor. In late 2017, whispers spread that Eminem, 50, and Dre were planning one final Aftermath legacy project. But people inside the circle say it wasn't a reunion, it was a peace offering. Dre allegedly wanted to release a compilation of unreleased music to close the chapter. Everything was set, until 50 backed out last minute. According to one insider, he didn't want to give Dre any more control. He said, "I'm not signing my life away for nostalgia." That decision reportedly infuriated Eminem, who felt it was their chance to finally end things on good terms. Dre stayed silent. That silence once again spoke louder than any diss track. To this day, some say Dre still holds on to the final Aftermath tape, a collection of recordings. conversations, and unreleased verses from the golden era. Others claim he destroyed it after realizing the truth. Some stories are better left untold. But here's the twist. A former engineer revealed last year that one track from that vault has Eminem and 50 rapping on the same beat for the last time. And that Dre's final line on the record says, "Empires fall when kings forget who crowned them." If that's real, Dre just summed up 20 years of loyalty, betrayal, and empire politics in one line. And yet, fans still wonder, if Dre's the mastermind behind it all, what else is he hiding? Because in part 4, we uncover the final twist, leaked footage, a mysterious phone call, and how one shocking move brought Eminem and 50 face-to-face again for the first time in years by 2020. The world had changed, but the shadows of Shady, GUnit, and Aftermath still loomed large. Eminem was reclaiming his lyrical throne with music to be murdered by. 50 Cent had turned himself into a TV mogul. And Dr. Dre? He was untouchable, a billionaire with power that stretched beyond hip-hop. But deep inside the culture, fans could still feel the fracture. People kept asking, what really happened between Eminem and 50 Cent? Are they still cool, or did money tear them apart for good? And then, out of nowhere, came the leak that reignited everything. A low-quality clip popped up on Reddit, posted by an anonymous account called Shady Vault Leaks. It showed old security cam footage from inside a recording studio, time-stamped 2011. The video was grainy, but clear enough to recognize the silhouettes. Eminem, 50 Cent, and Dr. Dre sitting around a console. There was no audio at first, in just body language. M looked angry, pacing. 50 leaned back, arms crossed, smirking. Dre sat motionless, like a man who'd seen this movie before. Then, 30 seconds in, the sound kicks on. Eminem's voice, "You played me, Fif. You took the money and dipped. You don't do that to family." 50 laughs coldly. "You the one who changed, bro. You got rich and stopped picking up calls." Eminem, "You wasn't calling for friendship. You was calling for a favor." 50, yeah? Maybe you forgot who made people care about Shady again. At that line, Dre stood up and shouted, "Enough! Both of y'all acting like fools. You're ruining everything we built." The clip cuts out right there, mid-shout. Fans went crazy. Within hours, frightening Shady Vault footage was trending across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Bloggers, podcasters, reaction channels, everyone jumped on it. Some said it was fake. Others claimed they'd seen the full video years ago. But the mystery didn't stop there. Because 2 days later, a second clip surfaced, and this time it wasn't an argument. It was something nobody expected. It showed Eminem and 50 in the same room again, only this time in 2020. The video appeared to be taken from the set of a private studio session in Detroit. Both looked older, quieter, humbled. Eminem's voice was calm but firm. "You think I ain't forgive you?" "I did, but I didn't forget." 50 nodded, almost emotional. "I didn't come here to argue. I came to say thanks. You gave me my shot, Em. I just didn't know how to handle it back then." For the first time in years, they shook hands. No bravado. No cameras, just two legends closing a chapter. And guess who filmed that? Dr. Dre insiders say Dre had orchestrated the whole thing, quietly bringing them back together, knowing time heals what money can't. One source close to Aftermath said Dre told both men, "Y'all don't owe me music. You owe each other peace." That meeting wasn't supposed to be public. But someone, likely a studio intern, leaked it, thinking it was harmless. Instead, it blew up. Millions of fans flooded social media with nostalgia. Old clips of patiently waiting, crack a bottle, and many men resurfaced everywhere. Even artists like Snoop Dogg, Royce da 5'9", and The Game reposted the footage with captions like, "Real ones always find their way back." Still, the reunion wasn't all smiles. Because behind that handshake, there were still unanswered questions. What about the leaked audio from 2006? What about Dre's secret vault? And who was behind Shady Vault leaks? Here's where it gets darker. Just weeks after the clip went viral, a hacker group claimed responsibility, saying they had access to over 40 unreleased files from the early Aftermath days, including contracts, raw vocals, and private recordings. They even posted a screenshot of a folder titled Aftermath Confidential. Within hours, the post vanished, wiped from every platform. Insiders believe Dre's legal team shut it down fast. But whispers spread that one of the leaked files wasn't about music at all. It was about ownership. Rumor has it that file exposed how Dre had quietly transferred full control of the shady GUnit Aftermath brand back to Eminem and 50 Cent, as part of a private reconciliation deal. Basically, Dre gave them the empire and walked away for good. A source close to Dre said, he wanted peace more than power. That was his way of saying, I'm done fighting. The crown is yours. If that's true, Dre played the long game perfectly, built an empire, watched it fall, then let the kings rebuild it themselves. A few months later, 50 made a surprise post on Instagram, a photo of him, Eminem, and Dre laughing together in a studio. Caption: some stories ain't for the internet. Family ties forever. The internet broke. Fans thought it was staged, but insiders swear it was real. That moment symbolized closure, the end of an era that started in bullets, built on trust, and almost collapsed under fame. But in true hip-hop fashion, even peace came with mystery. 1 week after that photo, Eminem dropped a surprise verse on a remix, Kings Don't Die, Legacy Mix. And his final bar had fans replaying it 100 times. Fifth, Dre me, still the Trinity, even if the devil tried symmetry. Some took it as shade toward the industry. Others said it was M's coded message that the real ones will always find each other, no matter what happens. And maybe that's the truth behind all the chaos. It was never just about money, fame, or deals. It was about loyalty tested, friendship broken, and legacy reborn. The full truth may never be known. Dre's vault stays locked, and nobody's confirming the leaks. But one thing's certain. After 2 decades of silence, betrayal, and power plays, the story of Eminem and 50 Cent came full circle. Not with a diss track, but with forgiveness. The takeover wasn't just about charts. It was about surviving the fallout of success. Because at the end of the day, kings fall, empires crumble, but legends always rise again. And that right there is the untold truth about Eminem and 50 Cent's takeover. The loyalty, the betrayal, the leaked audio, and the reunion that nobody thought would ever happen. From Dre's silent chess moves to 50's empire building and Eminem's emotional comeback, this saga proves one thing. In hip-hop, nothing is ever as it seems. Behind the platinum plaques and Grammy speeches are friendships tested by fame and trust broken by power. So, what do you think? Was this whole story a publicity stunt? Or did we just witness one of the most powerful reconciliations in rap history? Do you believe that leaked footage was real? Or was it all part of Dre's final legacy play? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's talk about it. Because this story just might rewrite how we see hip-hop's greatest duo forever. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we've got more exclusive stories, hidden truths, and behind-the-scenes exposés coming your way. This is Channel Name, where the culture meets the chaos, and nothing stays hidden for long. Until next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, every legend has a secret. Every legend has a secret.